If a roller coaster going downhill with no brakes was an arc, it would be the Shibuya incident. Let's talk about it. The Shibuya arc is a calamity of an arc. This is just chaos on steroids. Like, I feel like from the moment Gojo was sealed, that was when everything just popped off. They was like, oh, word, Gojo gone? All right, like, yo, all right, no doubt. I mean, so from the beginning, right, when Mekamaru was making that shady deal to get his body back from Kenjaku and from Mahito, I mean, that was the relatively chill part of the arc. It was kind of just building up suspense, building up tension. He really thought that he was going to be able to deal with Mahito, a special grade, and then Kenjaku. Got another video. Before we get into it, I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like button. I'm gonna need y'all to hit that subscribe button. I'm just gonna skip straight to the part where Gojo gets sealed. The genius plan that was actually Gojo sealing was literally insane. Gojo is the strongest sorcerer in the world. Like, I mean, in all of history, I wouldn't go that far. Clearly, Sukuna has other thoughts. But in regards to the strongest as of right now, yeah, we can give him that. You had this man crowded around a group of people to the point where he could only resort to taijutsu. Was pretty much genius. Despite how strong Gojo is, they took him out using his emotions. And I was like, ooh, damn, got him. Gojo's gone, and it is a literal free-for-all. The boxing was absolutely insane. Watching it in the manga was already crazy, but I feel like the way that it's been animated, woo, sweet Jesus, tell me that was not hot. There was so many fights that went on. It was actually crazy, and a lot of them, I'm not gonna go through every fight, but I mean, I'm gonna tell you the ones that stuck out to me. Naobito, Nanami, Dagon, and Maki. When that fight went on and they were in Dagon's domain, that was probably the most battle damage I had seen any of those guys. And I mean, of course, Naobito knows simple domain to the point where he was being protected by the automated hit of Dagon's domain. With each moment that went by, things just got worse and worse and worse. There was just no room to breathe. It was like the moment one thing happened, you had to pay attention to the next thing or you was done too. And even though they had all these grade 1 sorcerers, they could do absolutely nothing. They came in like the Power Rangers. If anybody remembers the Power Rangers Mighty Morphin, when the Green Ranger went into the Megazord and he washed all of them out of there, that's exactly what happened. Minus nobody not dying. I mean, a couple guys died, and I mean, if you know, you know. Just as Megami's about to basically break that domain, they finally have an exit and they're all running through. Who pulls up? Toji. Oh my God. And the great thing about Jujutsu Kaisen, right, is that the characters are morally ambiguous. Like, there's a thin line between what's good and what's evil, but then within that spectrum, they all operate within their own separate standards for morality. So you can never really tell who's on whose side and who's going to betray the other. Toji's going after the strongest person in the domain, and I mean, it's Dagon. He washes Dagon. And I mean, this man is using pure taijutsu, no cursed energy, no nothing. The domain is gone. The tug of war strength between Maki and Toji, because I mean, Maki's basically strong, right? Because I mean, she has the same condition as Toji, got the borderline heavenly restriction, but hers is not the same as Toji's yet. They're out of the domain. Nanami was the smart one. He sat there and was like, all right, you helped us with Dagon, but I mean, who you gonna fight next? And I'm sitting here thinking, if he was about to fight any of y'all been done. Knock it off. Like, y'all not doing nothing. And of course, Jogo comes in, he washes everybody. Jogo gets washed by Gojo. He gets killed off by Sukuna. The first grade guys, they not touching him. And the way he washed them was absolutely disgusting. He was like, yep, you're done. That's another one, another one. And then he was out of there. Game is basically just a scrub. I do not like this guy. I love the way that he gets washed by Nanami. Nanami came in like a straight thug. It was like your allies, all of them. Names, addresses, MySpace accounts, Facebooks. This man got that dog in him. He finally understood his place in the world after he got slugged by Nanami. I've never seen this man so heated. Megami summons Maharaga. It's Maharaga versus Sukuna. There were just thousands of casualties. Sukuna basically had to resort to using his domain to take in Maharaga. With all the mass murdering, all the killing that Sukuna did, he basically just faced the same direction in which he caused all that destruction just so that Yuji would witness it, and it was basically just psychological warfare. Jugo fought Sukuna. His curse technique is basically fire. He got washed with flames. The power scaling of the characters is just so consistent, because while you might sit there and think that Jogo's a scrub, in comparison to everybody else, he's on a completely different level. And that just shows to you the gap between the grade 1 sorcerers and Sukuna and Gojo. So, of course, a couple characters die. Nanami, Nobara. I won't say that I never cared about Nobara. I liked Nobara as a character. I feel like she was always just that strong woman. Like, she wasn't like just helpless, like, oh my god, Sasuke-kun. She could fight with the rest of them, and I always loved that about a character. I didn't dislike her character, but she wasn't exactly my favorite character. But seeing the way that she died definitely kind of hit emotionally. Nanami's death just hit me sideways. You can see he's clearly trying to guide the next generation. Nobara dies and Nanami dies, and they're within 15 minutes of each other, so I can't even imagine the psychological trauma that is going through Yuji's mind. It gets to the point where he gets hit with a black flash by Mahito. Mahito's growth was just disgusting. Just as an antagonist, I actually disliked him. I actually disliked him as a person. I don't know you, Mahito, but I don't like you. That only plays a testament to just how good a character he is. There's even development with those characters too. Choso and Yuji are actually related. They have the same dad or same stepdad. The way the anime actually animated Yuji versus Choso, this is boxing on a different level. Taijutsu for days. The taijutsu was taijutsuing. Like, it was just nice. Come on, like, anybody who's seen that season 2 animation, oh, come on, like, you gotta, come on, like, man. Mahito hits Yuji with a black flash, and he is slugging Yuji at the same time too. He's just like, yo, I'm you, you're me, you gotta accept it. Todo is Todo is actually my favorite character. And the way he pulls up, you just see footsteps, and he's just got his jacket on. Like, dude's drip is nice. And he's like, oh, we're not bound by the same karma. We're the exception. I'm like, ooh, damn, man, he got the jacket flipped, son. It's like, I just love the way him and Yuji just actually start fighting together, because Tojo's always been portrayed as some sort of meathead, and he's just like real dumb. But to be honest, Tojo's actually a genius. And his technique is so basic, but so effective in the way that he uses it. Tojo's strength is beyond insane. Yuji has more raw power than he does. Yuji grows in this arc, Todo grows, but I felt sad because despite them putting in their best efforts, Todo does lose his hand, and he basically damages his other hand, so his technique is basically dead. Of course, towards the end of the fight, everybody uses their black flashes, and then Todo gets hit by a black flash. Because of that growth and that state of being in the zone, Mahito evolves again to the point where he finds the most authentic version of his soul. So you see what his true form actually looks like. And him and Yuji, they're going at it. And I mean, the way this is animated, they're just boxing, they slugging it out, and Yuji ain't scared no nothing. Yuji at this point in time was intending to use a black flash when he wanted to, and he manages to land one with 100% curse output. And I'm like, whew, I know damn well that stuck. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that didn't hurt. We get to Yuji's acceptance to who he is, and I feel like this was definitely just great growth, because I feel like for a lot of the arcs before and just engagements with Mahito, he was never trying to accept who he was, and I feel like this was like a step in the right direction where he's now accepted who he is and the role that he has to play. So this was phenomenal development. Another part that stuck out to me was when Mahito actually decided to experiment with his domain by opening his domain for 0.2 seconds. And it is so funny because he knows that if he opens his domain and he touches Yuji's soul, he'd also be touching Sukuna's soul. And Sukuna was like, yo, I'll let it slide this one time, but you pull that stun again and I'ma kill you. And of course, he just sat there just looking at Sukuna. What? I'ma kill this boy before you switch over and you gonna die too. At the end of the arc, it is pretty much Yuji versus Kenjaku, and he's fighting with Choso, Kusakabe, Panda, and all the other Jujutsu sorcerers, and they are getting washed. Choso's trying to fight Kenjaku and he is just not landing nothing despite how fast his blood manipulation is. Uraume comes in, and Uraume, I'm pretty sure she's probably special grade because she knows reverse curse technique. She got a domain. And basically they lost. Kenjaku gets away. Choso actually finds out Kenjaku's real identity. I can't even remember his name, but long story short, he's a very evil sorcerer and he's like over 150 years old. But he's basically, well, we just know him as Kenjaku. Cool. Just that overall arc was just completely insane. It felt like once Gojo was gone, that was when everything just skyrocketed and beyond escalated. And I loved every minute of the Shibuya arc. And when they decide to animate the Culling Games, hopefully under better working conditions, if you know, you know, I'm gonna be there to watch it too. But man, this was amazing. Jujutsu Kaisen, man, you're not missing one bit. You have not missed. The sense of suspense and the real sense of danger was there because every antagonist that was there had a domain expansion. Nobody, with the exception of Gojo, actually has a domain expansion. And Megami. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong about anybody else. This was intense. This was intense. But yo, like, comment, subscribe, and that's it for me, y'all. Peace.